It's out of the box here at Front End Audio. I'm Wes, and I'm here with the brand new Softube Console 1 Channel Mark III. That's right, Mark III. It has been redesigned, revamped, and upgraded with a lot of really cool new features. We're going to talk about some of them today. I'll show you some of them, but first, let's get a look at the new Console 1. Boom! Right there, I'll decorate the background a little bit for us. Put the box there, and I will give you now the really cool light show that wowed everyone here at Front End Audio when we first plugged it in. Boom. Look at that. So here it is, Console 1 Mark III. I bet the first thing that grabbed your attention was these dual high-res smart screens here that are fully customizable. There are a number of different things that you can see on these screens, such as your EQ moves that you've made, the compression, how much you are compressing, your track name, the track number. There's a really cool VU meter, metering options. You can switch them around. It's fully customizable for you and your workflow. And really, that's what the Console 1 is. It's something to help you speed up your workflow and give you a real hands-on feel and touch with your music so that you can work faster, more efficiently, and it actually just makes mixing a lot more fun. Now, what Console 1 is, what this unit here is actually a controller for the Console 1 plugin. And the idea here is that you would take the Console 1 plugin, put it on some of your tracks, ideally all of your tracks in your session, and then you can use these top buttons here to cycle between the tracks, and you're able to kind of quickly shift through all the tracks in your DAW, quickly EQ, compress, add some color, gate your tracks, high pass filter, low pass filter, and it gives you that real world like analog console feel in your DAW. So it's the best of both worlds. You get your hardware hands-on feel while you work digitally, and you don't have to worry about recalls, setting all your EQs and compressors. Though they sound great, Softube's plugins also sound amazing. And actually, when you open the box, you'll find your cables, everything that we'll go over along with the unit. But then you'll have this booklet here, and it says, we love hardware, but we also love digital. And then I'll read this part here. It says, that's why we created Console 1. Hands-on workflow, immediate control, full flexibility, seamless DAW integration, no matter what DAW you're working in, and most importantly, impeccable sound quality, like I just mentioned. For us, that's the best way to make music with a computer. And we here at Front End Audio absolutely agree. Console 1 is amazing. Let's talk about some of the sections. All right, starting with the left side, you have your input section where you'll find your input gain, how much level you are sending into the Console 1 plugin. You also have a high cut and a low cut filter there, as well as a new feature, new to the Mark III version of Console 1. You have a tape and preamp button here. You can turn that on and get a little bit of extra color, some tape and preamp color or vibe. Move on over to the right a little bit, and this is your shape section. This is where you can add punch, sustain to your drums if you want it. There's also a really nice gate, and you have the ability to control the release. And moving on to our EQ section that has actually been redesigned. You have two EQs now with the Console 1. You have a vintage vibe, and then you have a more modern sounding EQ. And you can actually select between the two depending on what kind of track you're working with. If you want more of a modern, more of a clean hi-fi sound, you can use that. If you want to use the older vintage style EQ, that's available as well. And now with Console 1 Mark III, you actually have 6 bands. You're no longer limited to 4 bands of EQ. You can hold down that shift button. The bottom left has a yellow shift button. You hold that down and then tweak any 2 of the parameters to get an extra 2 EQ bands. To the right of the EQ section, you have your compression section, which is where you can select between now 3 different compressors. You have the ability to have 2 of them going at once. There are 3 different compressors to choose between, an FET compressor, an opto, as well as a bus compressor. And again, these scribble strip screens allow you to see all of your compression moves, your EQ moves. Everything is right there if you do want to be looking at a screen. The idea about Console 1 is that you don't have to look at your screen as much. You can just kind of like feel around, move some knobs, look at your meters, quickly cycle between tracks. But if you'd like to see what you're doing with your EQ and compression, those screens are available. And like I said, there are buttons that allow you to customize these screens so that you can see what you want, where you want. And to the right of the compressor section, we have our drive section. This is where we're going to get our analog console like drive and character. You have a knob for both drive and character, as well as below that, your pan knobs. You have the ability to change the panning and the output volume of your tracks with Console 1. And then on the very far right, you'll see some send buttons. you actually have the ability now to control the level for 6 different sends. So now you can control your reverbs, control your delays, all with the knobs on the Console 1. On the back of the Console 1 Mark III, you now have 2 USB-C ports. Now this will allow for daisy chaining with, say, the Console 1 fader unit. You can get that and add 10 motorized faders to your Console 1 system. Add it all together and you're going to have an entire console in one. See what I did there? Or you can just use that other port to charge your phone. So there you have it. That's Console 1 Mark III. Really great sounding channel strip. Very intuitive, very easy to get started with. It makes mixing fun and fast. You can customize this to your desire, to your workflow. You can actually interchange different EQs for different things. You can make presets like, I really love the modern EQ on my snare, but I really like the vintage one on my bass guitar. So you can have those presets. You can actually lay out your whole session. The possibilities are really endless, and if you want to use UAD plugins with this, you can do that as well. They have been integrated with Softube's Console 1 system, and so it's easy to set that up. You can actually just throw on a UAD 1176 for your compressor if you want, and then use their Pultec style EQ for your EQ section if you want. All of that stuff can be set up here in the menu section. Again, you have these nice buttons here that allow you to cycle between your tracks. Mixing with Console 1 is really fast and it's fun. We think you're going to really love this new Mark III version. If you have any questions about the Softube Console 1 Mark III or any of Softube's other products, give us a call at Front End Audio. And for more information on Softube and all the great products they're making, be sure to check us out at frontendaudio.com. I'm Wes. We'll see you next time.